cover two things today, and then I'm going to move into then the next time I think we'll wrap it up with the last segment. So the first thing that is part of this chapter, and I think I put it in here because I didn't really know where else to put it, but it has to do with your relationship with your vendors. And in startup, a vendor can make or break you. And by building a relationship with the vendor, by living up to your commitments to them and treating that vendor with respect, oftentimes the vendor will be willing and happy to support you and maybe go the extra mile when needed in order to help you grow your business. And an example of that, I've got a couple of examples of that. I mean, one was very early on. Bob and Mary had a strong relationship with Cisco. A gentleman by the name of Fred Hawley, who was our Cisco rep. He had taken care of Bob and Mary as their rep when they owned the Flapjack restaurant. And when they started the new enterprise, Bigby, Fred had a whole bunch of confidence in them. He knew they were great operators. He knew they were great people. And so Cisco took the risk of printing Bigby logoed, they were Beaners cups then, but Bigby logoed cups and warehousing them at the Cisco warehouse. And so very early in Bigby, I think even at the beginning, we were using logoed cups, which was a risk for them because if they go print 1.5 million cups, 3 sizes, and warehouse that, and then all of a sudden, we don't buy them, all of a sudden they're on the hook for that investment that they made in that inventory. So that's a good example. Another great example is Paramount Coffee in the early days. And Karen, this will be near and dear to your heart. We worked with a gentleman by the name of Marty Schlisberg, and Marty was a good friend, but also an extraordinary partner of ours. And when we went to buy the stores in Toledo, there were 6 stores. Marty lent us, which then was just an enormous sum of money. He lent us $150,000 along with the money we were contributing, along with Barry and the bank money. We were able to buy that company, and Marty took a second position to the bank. So if we couldn't pay the bank, then we couldn't pay Marty. So anyway. Think of that though, right? That was a long time ago, and here we are still today buying the amount of pounds we buy from Paramount, and they've been an extraordinary partner to us, helping us in so many ways over the years. And we've been a good partner to them too, growing the business and buying more coffee beans every year. And I think that the point of this though is that I think so many people get wrapped up in treating vendors almost as adversaries. And I'm really advocating in this book that that's a huge mistake, and that vendors can be really powerful partners for you as you start your business and grow your business, especially in the early years. So that's my take on vendor partnerships. I think it's really an important piece. The next piece that I wanted to cover here, and the title of this is "You Are an Actor, and you must give the performance of your lifetime." And what I mean in this is that in startup, in business, oftentimes you face really difficult moments, but you have to put yourself into the mindset that you need to be for that business, for your team, who you need to be in a given moment in time, regardless of how much pressure you're under, regardless of what's happening, and that's a very difficult thing for people to do. Oftentimes in startup, you're just, you're managing cash flow day to day. You're under an enormous amount of pressure to figure out how to make it all work, and you still have to present yourself in a way that people will believe in you. Your vendors will believe in you. All of your team, your employees will all believe in you. Of course, the customer will believe in you. And so if you don't present yourself with confidence and being aggressive in your belief in the business and in holding to the longer vision, if you don't believe in you, nobody will believe in you. And so, but a lot of times you get kicked around enough that it's hard to present that to the world, but you have to. And so I just wanted to take a second and read a passage in the book here that I think I'm proud of, because I think it really captures the essence of what it's like in that moment in time. And so I write here, an example of this is, you're a few months into your startup and you are negative cash flowing, literally managing your cash on a daily basis. It's 8 a.m. and a key employee, that person you had confidence in, that person you were thinking about making a manager, that person who was going to take some of the workload off your shoulders, resigns because she's moving to Florida with her boyfriend. She loves the job and loves working with you, but she has to follow her dreams, and they've decided their dream is to live near the ocean. Another employee interrupts the tear-filled hug to tell you one of your key machines is down and production is at a standstill. By the way, before starting your business, you were about as mechanically handy as a giraffe, and now you're grabbing your toolbox and making a beeline to the broken equipment. You get that fire out, and your mom calls to let you know that one of the kids is complaining of a sore throat, and she's wondering whether she should take the youngest to school. You look in the mirror in the hall as you get off the phone with your mother, and you look like death warmed over. There's a smudge of dirt on your forehead, you have grime under your fingernails, and your hair looks like you brushed it with an egg beater. You stop in the bathroom, splash some water on your face, wash your hands, run your fingers through your hair, and walk into the conference room 5 minutes late with a potential game-changing customer who asks, "How's it going? How's business?" The potential customer in the conference room wants to know how you're holding up. It's a similar series of questions that you get in the first 6 months of having a baby. People expect you to be miserable. They expect you to be exhausted. They know the odds are stacked against you. They won't say it, but they're expecting you to fail. To make your business successful, you must walk through the door of your conference room and give the performance of your life. The potential customers must feel like this thing is going well, better than you expected. This is not a lie, because they have no idea what your expectation was. Maybe you were expecting to lose $17,000 a month and you were only losing $14,000 a month. You are very happy with your business and ecstatic over the decision to leave your cushy corporate job to go it on your own. You're having a hard time keeping up with the production. This is also not a lie, because the machines keep breaking down, not because there's too much business. It is your mission to make sure the customer leaves the meeting with the utmost confidence in you and your business. Even if they leave the meeting with great confidence in you and what you're doing, the chances you're going to win the business are still low. If they leave with any doubts about your business, your chances go to zero. By the way, did I mention that this is your 4th sales call this week and 14 this month, and your win ratio is running at about 1 to 20? The meeting wraps up and you feel like it went well. You shake hands with your prospects, reach into your pocket, get your phone out, and start scrolling through voicemails as they walk away. There's a voicemail from a customer who is irate over some packaging issue, another from the banker who is wondering about 2 checks to hit your account NSF, and a third from your key vendor who has a box of critical raw materials ready to ship, but realized your account is past due and needs payment before they can do so. You call the vendor back as you walk into the break room, and you let him know you were expecting a large payment any day and you're going to get the overdue payments cleared up Monday of next week. You exude energy and enthusiasm. You spend a few minutes talking about the sales call you just came out of, and it's going to be a real game changer for the company. You've been very good at communicating with him over the past 6 months. You have shared the highs and the lows with him, and he feels like a partner in your startup. He knows that when you grow the business, he stands to flourish from this account. You have lived up to your other commitments, and he sees no reason not to believe that you will wire the money on Monday. He takes a chance and sends the material anyway, even though it's against company policy. Of course, you thank him and tell him how good he has been to you and how you look forward to doing business with him for many years to come. He gets off the phone feeling good about your business and feeling even better about you. He is contributing to the success of a startup. He is your partner. You walk into the break room and there's a gaggle of employees hanging out talking about the ducks that walked into the back of the building through the garage door earlier that morning. They are in a good mood and they're joking about how the grumpy old codger who drives the forklift had to beep his horn to get the ducks out of the way, and even he smiled as he gave a chuckle at the notion. You walk in talking about the sales call and how invigorating it was because it truly could be a game changer. This was the second meeting with them and you think it went better than the first. You go check in on the machine that was broken in the morning and give the operator a high five because the machine is still working. Your people seem to be fired up. They're in it with you, and they know it is a tough moment, but they believe in you and what you're doing. They speak highly of you and your company to the UPS driver, to their friends at dinner on Friday night, to their kids, most importantly, to each other. They're fired up and have confidence because you are fired up and have confidence. Your people have confidence in you and your business, and yet you remember your kid is home sick and you call it to check in. It never ends. It never stops. You just have to put your head down and keep going. You are acting. You must decide what is the most appropriate behavior for you at any given moment, and you must morph into that character. If you had walked into the sales call with grime under your fingernails talking about the broken equipment, or if you had left the conference room and walked into the break room complaining about the vendor who didn't ship, or if you had been on the phone with the vendor talking about all the misses on sales calls in the past month, people would be walking away with little or no confidence in you or the business. You have to inject them with positive energy. You have to fill them with belief. You do this by being a great actor. You must flip the switch in every situation and know what you need to do is set the tone for that moment. You must have people walk away with no doubt about the success of your enterprise. So that's my concept there in terms of having to meet your business where your business needs you to meet it, having to meet people and where they need to be met. And in so many ways, as the entrepreneur in a startup, you're in service of everyone else to make sure that people are believing in you, believing in the business, and supporting you in that growth. So that's the concept of you're always an actor and you have to give the performance of your lifetime in startup. Again, I think somewhat unconventional in a book on business and business startup, but to me, it's a critical component to success. And so my next opportunity, I think I'll be able to